Motor Warriors. I'm heading down to Tullahoma. I got to get a part for my wife's minivan. The red lens part, cover or whatever, of the turn signal had started to come loose, so I threw some tape on it and held it until I could get a replacement cover. And she saw it when she went into work one day, or one night, came out and it was gone. And she thought maybe it had fallen off when she was at work, and there was no parts anywhere, no broken bits of red plastic or anything, so clearly someone stole it. Well, she went into work and they have cameras on the lot, but she was told that without a police report they can't access it. And it's like, who's going to call the cops over a missing red light that the cops are going to see a little tape score on there and just say, well, it fell off. Well, she saw it when she was going in, so she knows that's not what happens. And I called to see how much a brand new one costs at AutoZones and other local auto parts places, and they want something like $150 or $175 because they won't sell you just the lens cover. They only sell the whole assembly, and it's all plastic. It's ridiculous what they charge. But anyway, that's what it is. So I called the salvage yard. That's probably an hour from the house, something like that. And I'm taking a ride down there now to see. I know that according to their website, they won't tell you if they have the part you're looking for. It's kind of weird, but they won't tell you if they have the part. They'll just tell you if they have that particular vehicle on their lot. And it's up to you to go see if they have it. And it's kind of funny because they charge you $2 to get on the lot whether they have the part or not. So you pay $2, walk around, find out you don't have it, and walk out saying, hey, thanks for letting me sweat my butt off for an hour trying to find the vehicle, and doesn't even have the part I need. And I'm like, well, sorry. So that's what I'm doing. We're going through this construction zone. Hopefully it doesn't fog up the camera lens. But they've been working on this thing for I don't know how many years. I think it's just a money pit. I just think it's a way for this area to keep getting federal revenue to build a road that was perfectly fine. The amount of traffic on this road doesn't warrant building a multi-million-dollar extension to make it a 4-lane when the traffic it's never really that bad. But you know how it is. The state gets money from the feds, and if they don't spend it, they lose that much of it. They'll lose it the following year. So all these states that are given federal funding, they will spend it on the most ridiculous things just to keep that money coming, so they can show the feds, oh, we need it here in Tennessee, we need it. And all these other states are doing the same thing, taking federal money to build roads and to do stuff that doesn't even need to be done, just to keep that change, hundreds of millions or $1 billion or whatever. I don't know what the state of Tennessee gets, but just to keep pumping that money in, just to try and keep milking the cow dry. And what's sad about that is that we are the ones who pay that. That's our money. So when I look at a road like that, I see, well, there's a nice fine waste of my money. They didn't need to build that extension of that road. They didn't need to do that. It's fine. This road was fine. And I see it as a waste of my money and a potential way for them to lower my taxes. I mean, if they weren't spending all this money in such a ridiculous fashion, and it's not just here in Tennessee, I'm sure it's in every state, but if they weren't spending money unnecessarily, then our taxes could be much lower. But the government loves giving away other people's money, and it seems the more liberal they are, the more they like to spend our money. But anyway, that's neither here nor there with the topic at hand, which is just going down here to get this part. But I'm sure that you all pay taxes. My channel isn't big enough at this time to get any kind of monetization from YouTube, so I don't know what it's like to get a paycheck from them. I don't know if they take taxes before they give it to you, or if you have to file and they send a report to the the government and to you saying here's what you earned on YouTube and whatever, and then you have to file your tax form or end up in a lot of trouble. Not sure how that works. If you all would help me help my channel grow, then I might find that out one day. So I appreciate y'all watching, and I wish, I appreciate it when you comment and thumbs up and stuff. Some of you watch, I mean, I'll see like 13 views and only 2 comments or 3-4 comments or something, and there's a few of you that comment on every video, and I really appreciate you guys. You know who you are, and I really appreciate it. And it would be nice if I could get somebody to help me get my channel to grow and share my channel with other people, give my channel a shout out, send people my way, whatever. You remember what a struggle it was when you first started out before you got monetized? I'm just heading down this way, and it's a pretty good ways yet. I'm just gonna ride for a little bit and probably shut off the camera and then turn it back on when I get down there. So when you're higher in elevation and you look, the hills don't look as big. When you're off in the lower altitudes, you look off in the distance and it looks like everything's really high. But when you're up there and you see these peaks, they don't look that big. But we're up in elevation a bit here too, though, so. But as I ride along here, I'm just glad I'm moving. I wish I'd have worn my little beanie helmet, though, my half helmet or whatever you want to call it, little brain bucket thing. I put on my full face because this is what my camera's attached to. But it's a wonderfully cool 97 degrees today here in Middle Tennessee, with a heat index of at least 105. They're saying that there's a chance that that could actually climb. So, yeah. It gets warm here. That's why, like I've said before, I believe that you can tell, when it gets down to like 70s or something, and you see somebody on a bike with a jacket or walking around with a sweater and it's 70 degrees, and then you see somebody walking around in t-shirts, shorts, and flip-flops, they're new here. That they haven't, that they just moved down here. Because when your body starts to acclimate, and next thing you know, you're so used to that hot weather all the time that when it starts to get into the 70s, you feel cold. And it's the other way around too. I know that when I moved up and was living in Milwaukee, man, I was freezing my butt off. I thought, how in God's name can people live in this awful climate? How can people make a living? How can people put up with this? It is cold, it snows like crazy, it'll rain and turn to ice, and it is just nuts. But after a couple of years or so, I started to get used to it and found how to dress and stay warm and that kind of thing, wearing clothes in layers and whatever. And then I come back here and it's like, oh man, I'm so hot. You have to get used to it all over again. And it was kind of like that in Oklahoma. Oklahoma gets really hot in the summer, but in the winter, they don't really get much snow in Oklahoma. I mean, you can, but it's usually not snow. What you usually get is rain that comes down and freezes to everything it touches, and then it just builds and builds and builds. I was working security for a place, I'm not going to go into details about that, but I was working for security for a place, and a guy that was supposed to come in and do his particular job wasn't even able to open his door because there was 6 inches of ice on his door, on all of his doors and his windows and everything. He couldn't get out of the house. And so he had called in and was telling them that there was no way he could make it to work, and that as soon as he could get somebody to come over there and chip away enough ice to have the door open, he'd come in. But you know, everybody he knew was already at work, and it looked like they weren't going to be able to even make it home, let alone to his house. And I didn't live that far away from where I worked, so they asked me if I'd fill in for his job, which I knew how to do, and so I did. And man, that made for a long day. I'm glad that the day after was a day off for me. But yeah, so it'll get hot in the summer and pretty cold in Oklahoma in the winter. That little flashing thing back there, I didn't see it till the last minute, but apparently I am speeding. But anyway, I'll catch up to you when we get there. All right, talk to you later, Motor Warriors.